Dia, welcome to the podcast. It's great to have you on.
Thank you for
Finally,
having me.
of course. Jay, this is my first time doing a virtual one over video as well, so you're the first for that. Pioneer in there. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this conversation. I want to use the time to sort of for the world to get to know you more as a person and dig a bit more into your story, for people that don't know you. But
Okay.
yeah, I was preparing sort of like a short introduction to you. So this is what I come
Okay.
up with, but tell me if it's fair to say or not. But I would say you're a digital artist, an astrologer, a tarot worker, and a mother, obviously amongst
Yeah.
many other things. So I wanted to start with the creativity. Um, and if you could sort of tell me what has your creative journey been like? Sort of when did you start creating artwork and how has it all progressed since then?
Ooh. I think it started when I was a kid, and then, as you grow older, sometimes you kind of lose it.
Mm,
And I lost it for a few years because I became a mother really young. I was only 18. So I really didn't have the time to go around and experience the world. And I just dive directly into adulthood and responsibility. So I think I lost the spark, that you have when you create.
mm,
And it's just I think I got it back when I was like 27, 26. So I'm almost 33 now.
mhm,
But I was always creating. I've been a dancer, I've been drawing, painting. I used to um, create clothes from, little things that I could find in drawers or in thrift shop and just like putting things together to build an outfit. So I was always really creative, but I think the digital part really came when I lost my job. So it was just before COVID. Um, so I lost my job due to a back injuries, and I was a physical trainer. So it was really difficult to go back into that kind of
mm,
career. So after losing that, I was like, okay, now what? You can't use your body anymore. So what can you do? And it's just there that I started to dig a little bit into astrology and everything. And I was like, oh, I really want to create art based on the knowledge that I think I have to see if people can actually see in the art the knowledge that I put into. That was really my way of learning
wow.
everything. And I just started from there. And here I am.
Amazing. No, that's a really cool story. And yeah, it leaves a lot of questions that I can ask now about it. So so obviously you were creative as a kid and you were doing all sorts of stuff. What inspired you to create from the get-go and what inspires you now? Like what have your inspirations been?
Hmm. When it comes to everything related to astrology and occult knowledge and everything, I've noticed that when you buy a tarot deck or an oracle deck or something like that, people don't look like me. Like in the art, they don't. That I couldn't relate to the people that I was or the art that I was seeing in the oracle or the tarot deck. Except if it was plants or nature or mountains. That's something that we all can see each other
Hmm.
into. But I really wanted to. So I'm an Amazigh, so it's like I'm a Moroccan. So it's we are indigenous of Africa, and I really wanted to put my heritage into my art and try to bring and create something that I I was not seeing in the art space. I mean, there are a ton of American artists and everything that try to put their own soul and culture into their art. But when it comes to something not really acceptable in your culture, when it comes to, tarot and prediction and looking to the stars, like this is something that it's a little bit taboo. And I wanted to just try to embrace everything in one and
Mm.
create all of that, and also inspire my kids to actually, you can be everything you want, even if it's not something that is usually be like you can usually see in the world. You can create your own box
Yeah.
if you don't fit in one. So I was like, that was the main goal. And I think it's gonna evolve more and more, but the goal, the purpose will always be the same.
That's beautiful. So like unifying your culture and family and yourself with your learnings and
Yeah.
what you've learned. No, that's really nice. So okay, so I want to ask about astrology and tarot. Which one do you think would be better to explore first? Which one entered your life first?
Astrology.
Okay, so let's start with that. How did you get started with astrology? What was your introduction to it?
Honestly, I was just, so it goes back to when I was having my injury and I was on ton of medication, like morphine and stuff like that, and it didn't work. I was in a lot of pain. And I was just, I think my life has always been very challenging. And at this point, I was like, when is it gonna stop? Like, I'm freaking tired. I need a break because I'm gonna break down. This is getting ridiculous. It was from my childhood until my adulthood. It was just challenge, 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 rock bottom, rock bottom, rock bottom. And I was like, what is the point of everything? And so I was like looking around and I found astrology, and like everything that I do, I dived really deep in first, like really deep into the ancient text and everything. And I actually realized that when I lost my job and everything, it was during a period that is called a Saturn return. And Saturn is like the karmic kind of planet. So it's kind of a masculine energy, and I interpreted it as okay, you've been on Earth for almost 27 years. You came here to do something about your life. You came here with a purpose. You have something to bring into this world. What have you been doing since you were born? And if it's not something that is aligning with your purpose, it's just break everything down. And that was what was happening to me. And so I was like, okay, so I'm in my Saturn return. Now what? And after that, I got deeper and deeper and wanted to know more and more and more. And that's where, when analyzing my charts and stuff and planets and different kind of stuff that we can see and learn in astrology, I've noticed that, oh, I am in this world, I am meant to be creative, but in my own way, using my heritable courage, like uh, my my culture heritage. Sorry. And so I was just trying to complete this big puzzle. And
Yeah.
I was just trying to, oh, this piece, I can understand that. Oh, and this piece, and trying to bring them all together to just understand who I am. It was, the first goal was to understand, okay, who am I? What am I supposed to do? And why all of this is happening to me?
Mm,
What am I supposed to be doing right now? And that was, by looking the answer, I find more and more and more and more.
mm. There's like a search for truth, a search for,
Exactly.
yeah, search for understanding of your own life, I guess. Um, and how did you end up feeling the benefits of it? Like how have the actual practical benefits of that been since the journey started?
Oh, life changing.
Yeah.
Life
Tell,
changing.
tell me
Yeah,
more.
I feel like I was, sometimes we want something, but it's not necessarily what we need. And I think that all my life I've been looking after superficial things to fulfill a void that I had in myself. And it just like blew my mind when I really got the understanding of my natal chart, which is a natal promise or something that I was supposed to become in this life and to do. And and since then I'm just, just like people use a calendar or an agenda on their phone, I use the planets and especially the moon to plan all my life and just make sure that my action and my desire are aligned with something beyond the ego. That what, oh, I want to be famous. Oh, I want this, I want that. No, that's not what you want. You want to be loved, but famous doesn't inquire love. Like all this kind of little stuff
Hmm.
is just like a compass to know where I'm where I'm going and make sure that I don't get lost in the way.
Mm. Yeah, that makes sense. Hmm. Yeah, I find it really interesting astrology, obviously, because I haven't had too much experience with it myself. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm like learning through you and through other people, and like seeing the effects that it's had on other people's lives. But if, let's say, if someone wanted to get started with uh, using astrology to help themselves ultimately, what
Oh,
sort of
first,
things, yeah, what sort of things would you
yeah.
recommend? What could they expect, if anything?
Um, First, I would get a natal chart reading, but not from anyone else, not anyone like just random. I would just look at video on YouTube or um, Twitter. There's ton of incredible astrologer or Instagram, whatever the medium. You just search for the medium that you like. You type the things that you want to know, and then you look if those astrologer are providing natal chart reading. And I think it's the first key to absolutely find an astrologer that you trust to open up this like kind of Pandora box
Hmm.
and give you all the little tools. And then I think it comes to you being able to have some kind of discernment between what is being said to you and your perception of it, because there's sometimes that's where miscommunication happens, because sometimes you are so desperately in need to hear something that you, even if the person isn't saying what it is you want to hear, you're gonna hear it.
Mm.
So I would just go, that would be the first step. And then yeah, by yourself, grab books, grab everything that you can find, because there are tons of different astrology. There's Vedi, there's tropical, there are all signs, there's all type of astrology that they all are different, but they all have the same purpose. So um yeah, I think that first get your chart read and then find something that you can relate to in terms of the way the things are explained, or
Mm.
and then go on by yourself and see where it leads.
Okay, that's a good start. Yeah, natal chart reading. Cool. Okay, so let's go into tarot now. How did you get started with tarot and working with tarot cards?
um it's funny because I used to play with the tarot of Le Tarot de Marseille. So it's the French tarot cards
Hmm.
that are actually the oldest tarot cards to play. But it was a game. It was a game at first that we played as a kid with my parents. It's a card game. But I didn't know until a few years later that those cards were also used for divination. And I was like, oh, that's insane. I've been playing with those cards all my life, like really since the age of 8, 9. I was like playing this kind of card games. And I was like, this is insane. And so then I got into astrology and tarot are actually connected. And then I was like, oh, okay, I can connect something that I like with something else. And then I was like into this kind of rabbit hole, digging and digging and digging. And honestly, I'm still digging because
Yeah.
there are so many stuff to know. Um, and so I actually bought my first and only tarot deck, um, which is uh, a special something to know about me is that I always go super deep. So even the astrology that I practice is like I think in one lifetime wouldn't be enough to learn everything about it because it's like it's Hellenistic astrology, so it's really ancient, it's really old. I dive first into this one because when I choose something, I want to make sure that I'm learning from the best source.
Hmm.
So that's where I went. I went from to the best source, and it was the Hellenistic one for me. And then same for tarot. I got my tarot, which is based also on Hellenistic knowledge to match the astrology. And it's the only one that I have. I don't have any other tarot. Like it is the only one that I have. And I don't know if I need to dive into how I'm using it or not.
So that was gonna be my next question. Yeah. How do you use it? How does it work in general?
Okay. The way I'm using it, I don't like to predict future and stuff like that, even though this is something that can be done with cards. But for me, it's just more kind of a self-reflecting tool that I use to just call myself out sometimes. Just
Mm.
like I do with astrology, I need someone, like I need the cards to call myself when I'm just like trying being delusional or trying that I know everything, like um thinking that I know everything. So yeah, it's for me, it's just a tool that I use to check myself and see, okay, what do I need to work on? Where I'm at? Okay, I have this challenge. What can I learn from them? Um, oh, I'm feeling stuck. Why? Where? What is the root of me feeling stuck and everything? It's really to get just like you would go to therapy and have like a really deep session with a human being. I have that, but with my cards. It's just me and my cards, and I'm just shuffling and picking them
So
and let's see.
what is the process? Do you choose one at random? Um
Um,
did you observe it or like how does it actually go?
what do you mean? Do I have a special moment or something like that?
Like let's say you have a deck of tarot cards in front of you and you want to use it to uh, learn more about yourself or check yourself, as you say.
Mhm.
Um, what would you do? What would it actually, how would the process go?
Mm, um, for as for myself, I've always have the three cards rule. So whenever I read for myself, I will always pull three cards.
Mm,
And first, before I will cleanse my cards with incense or bakur. Um, bakur for you know what bakur is. It's like the
mm.
incense
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
with the charcoal and everything. I would first cleanse them because that's the one that I use to read to my for my clients. So I make sure I'm not taking residual energy
Mm,
from the message that was for my client. So that's the first step. Um, then I will think about, okay, what do I want to ask? Usually I do it during the moon phase. So to link astrology, so I look at where the moon's phase is located in my natal chart to have some kind of aspect and direction to, uh, now I need to focus on my relationship or my family or my career or my shadow work or my money. Like I really try to focus on one theme. That's why I link it with the moon. So I really have a clear vision and not random stuff coming at me from everywhere.
yeah.
And then I will just like, okay, what is the first card maybe would be what is the challenge or what is the team, what is the main theme of this moon's phase? And that's my first card. My second card would be, oh, what is the challenge? And then the last card would be what is the growth that is will come out of those challenges. And that's usually how I read
Mm.
them. Sometimes I take notes, just to go back to that those notes like 6 months or a few months later and see, oh, I actually grow from that challenge. I can see the growth now. So I'm really just mixing. Astrology is not going without tarot for me, and tarot is not going without astrology. The two of them are always intertwined, and that's the way I use it.
Amazing. Yeah, it's a nice system of using two different systems as one system ultimately to learn more about yourself and life. You mentioned shadow work, and I've seen and heard you talk about that a few times on your own page. Um, how would you describe shadow work and what it is?
I think I think that shadow work is all this part of yourself that you really don't want to look out, or you don't want other people to see. So sometimes we are in situation that hurts us, but we don't have the strength to look at it yet, so we just push it aside. I honestly I see human as big room with a multiple, like a ton of drawers, and you have a drawer for memory, for happiness, for joy, for sadness, for anger, like all those kind of emotion, and where they come from and what triggers them. And I think that shadow work is going to that room, sitting down and choosing to open one drawer at the time, because we don't want to mess around and opening up them all at once. You just take, for example, you take the drawer of anger. Oh, what makes me angry? Why? Why do I get angry in that situation? What is the root of that anger? And it's just, for me, it's just looking at reaction, especially emotional reaction, what triggers them and what is the root of them, because there's always something rooted in childhood, a situation, a relationship, something uh, that was done to us or that we did to ourselves in the past or in the close present. Uh, and yeah, for me, it's just like sitting in that room and just looking at yourself and actually learn about those triggers and those kind of negative. It's for me, there's no positive or negative. Uh, I see them as positive energy and negative energy, but you need the two of them to create energy, just like in a battery.
Hmm.
So yeah, I will just say negative from that kind of space and not from a negative space.
Hmm.
And yeah, you just look at them and actually do the work. So first but because there's two part of shadow work, and most people get stuck in the first phase. Oh, I know that I'm like that, but that's who I am. No, 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 no. You know that you are like that. So now what are you gonna do to change that? Because you can't just stay there. You need to acknowledge, oh, the root of that anger is da da da. Oh, now I'm gonna actually do actual action to grow from that and make sure that I'm not triggered or reactive the same way that I've been in the past. So yeah, it's two phase. I think it's a two phase kind of work.
Mm. It is, I mean, it's very important work, isn't it? And
But yeah.
it's very important work, and it takes courage, I think, to
Oh
even
yeah.
to even uh look at that drawer, let alone open it and then dig through it and study it, examine it, take action.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Like,
it's I think it's the most brave act that a human can do. It's actually look at all those pain and suffering and things that we did that we are not proud of, because there's a lot. We are human, we make mistakes, nobody is perfect. So there are situations when we actually did cause suffering and pain to others.
Yeah.
And it's as much, it's equal important in terms of level of importance to look at those situations too, to just make sure that we do not reproduce them in the future. So yeah, it's really brave to look at, because everyone can pretend like confidence and joy and happiness. We can all do that, but to look at yourself and the things you did wrong, and actually transmute that energy to do something good,
Mm.
it's it's the most powerful thing that human can do, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it is very powerful. Definitely. Yeah. I think it's something that well, over the past few years, I've started to do for myself. It's like um almost subconsciously as well and automatically, but like trying to examine the parts that are hard to look at and then see what there is to learn. There was always an element of courage that I noticed it required, and like I could only access it even during courageous moments, where I could go and look and just face yourself and then also accept the consequences um of that shadow
Yeah.
that maybe you like either you produced or it just has happened to be with you. And yeah, consequences are interesting to have. I'm like I've been thinking a lot about consequences recently. Um, and I mean, yeah, I would actually be interested to get your opinion on karma and what you think of karma. For example, I think of the way I've been thinking of karma recently is pretty much like consequences. Um, just like actions and reactions, and
Yeah.
it can be neutral or good or bad or whatever. Um, but then it's like once you start examining the karma of actions, well, it makes you think twice before acting.
Yeah.
Um, for sure. But yeah, how do you think of karma?
Oh, I think of as I think of karma the same way that you do. I think it's just an energy. At first, it's energy, because before action we have intention, and that's, I think that's where karma comes from. It
Mm,
doesn't necessarily come from the action, but the intention before even the action. So it's just from thoughts, just from the idea of, oh, I'm going to do that, but why are you going to do that? And that's where karma is, because it's not necessarily, but I did good. Yeah, you did something good, but from what, which place?
mm,
Like, do you really intend of doing this good, or was it something, did you have an ulterior motive in mind?
yeah.
And I think that where's karma is, because the kind of thoughts and energy that you create, you're gonna get back.
Hmm. No, that's really good insight actually. That it starts with intention before the action, even
Yeah.
because I mean a lot of actions, well, yeah, they start as energies first, and energies could be intentions, and it's recognizing the energy first,
Hmm.
sort of catching it before it builds into an action
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, that's cool. What would you, so since we're sort of in these realms, how how would you say your relationship with spirituality is like in general? What's it been like growing up, and what's it like now?
Ooh, it's been a long road.
Yeah.
It's been a really long road.
Mm,
Uh, because people that knew me when I was a teenager wouldn't describe me as spiritual at that period. Like, I was anything else but spiritual. I was superficial. I was self-centered. I was entitled. I was nothing. I mean, I was a teenager, so I guess most of teenagers might have some similar attributes, but it was really, really intense on my part. I was really self-absorbed to the highest point of ego set. Oh yeah, everything around ego, it was through the roof. Um, and I think that karma it hit me pretty well and just humbled me a little bit. And then I had to learn. And I think spirituality is in everything that you do on a daily. It's not necessarily you sitting around and chanting monk songs and, with the music on a special frequency of vibration or anything. That it's good, it's great, but it's not only that. I think spirituality is everything from waking up and making your bed and to actually showering with the intention of cleansing everything that is like whether it's emotion or energy. Like for me, spirituality is in everything that I do. Um, Before I drink my water, I have intention. I charting with intention because that's water, and it's actually scientifically proved that we can change the pH of water just by having intention towards it. So yeah, for me, spirituality now is in everything that I do. It's not, yes, I have rituals based around the full moon and the new moon and stuff like that, but it's something that I'm actually embodying on a daily. It's who I am. It's not necessarily something that I do. It's just who I am. I am a spiritual being. Uh, I practice spirituality, but it's more who I am. It's not something that you do like a sport. Uh,
The
and
external
even
thing.
though, yeah, even though something like, yeah, if you're a footballer, you practice football, but you know what I mean? It becomes who you are at a point. And I think that I'm close to that phase where it's who I am now. It's not just something that I practice like a religion or because I've been through all the phase of religion. I've been a Muslim, I've been a Protestant, I've been everything. So it's more like just I am now. I'm not a label. I am nothing specific. I just am.
Mhm. That's beautiful. Yeah, and I relate with that too. But no, it's really interesting to hear your journey because I mean, I only met you. I mean, we only sort of got to know each other around 2 years ago, I think. Um,
Yeah.
so I've only seen you th in this phase of your life. Um, and for you to say when you were younger, you were all those things that you were
Yeah.
saying, that was surprising to me because I couldn't even imagine that.
And that's the shadow work. That's actually the shadow work. When you
Mm,
can look at yourself back then and say, "Ooh, I wasn't shit," but I knew I was I think I thought I was the shit, but I wasn't. I was
yeah.
a shit maybe, but I wasn't the one. So yeah, no, no, no. I think it's sometimes something that people are not proud of, but I think it's the thing that I will scream out loud or is it's raining a lot. Do you need me to close the window because
I can't
or
actually hear it.
no?
No.
Oh, okay, because it's actually raining. I haven't seen rain in months, but it's raining.
Yeah, no, here as well. Here as well.
So yeah,
Mm.
I lost the track of what I was saying.
No, no. So was there like just going from the two transitions, like to the point where you are now, you are the spiritual being that just is, because it is sort of just in tune with the universe, I guess. Um, to the other pole where you were describing, did you like what was how did the transition take place? Were there key moments? Did you have to sort of hit a rock bottom of sorts to wake up, or
I eat a few. I have eaten a few.
mm,
Like I said, I had my kids alone when I was 18. That was one. Because I thought that I will never regret having my kids because it's my everything. But when you think that you can handle something and then you actually experience it, and you're like, oh no, that shit is hard. That was me being a single mother at 18, because I was in the south of France and I was not living with my family. I was living in shelters, from shelters to shelters, because I was homeless. So yeah, being homeless and pregnant is not for the weak.
Mm.
So that was one. And I've been homeless for I think for the age of 20 no, 18 through 23. I got like homeless, not homeless, homeless, not homeless, homeless, not homeless, always trying to get my life together, but I couldn't. That was 5 years of struggle, with the fact that I was also being a single mom at the time. So it was jungling two kind of really hard stuff. That was one.
Mm.
Uh, it was really humbling because the superficial thing that I was like putting on an eye, I don't know, on an eye level of importance
Mhm.
that just weren't relevant anymore. And
Mm.
so that was a wake up call. Um, I think the loneliness also, because I was young. So being young, that's young, and having a kid, it's hard to have friends. But when you are struggling and having those kind of challenges in life, it makes it even harder to have like those kind of really loving and sincere friendship. So that was another one. So yeah, you just have to sit with yourself and look at, why am I alone?
Mm.
And sometimes you notice that you are the one responsible for the fact that you are alone, because you push people away with your behavior, with your the way you spoke, the way you kind of notice the pattern, and you say, oh, I did that on myself. Shit. Now what?
Mm.
And it's hard. I think it was the hardest thing in my life, more so. But I think, yeah, the loneliness of just 5 years of loneliness, of not being able to rely on anyone but myself to provide everything for me as I was still a kid, and my baby, was like a huge wake up call to get my life together, and just like I didn't want to go back to that place anymore. And that's my motto now. Like I will never want to go back to that place. Never, ever. So now when I'm lonely, it's because I want it, and it's because I'm comfortable with myself.
Mhm.
But it's not because I did the people around me wrong. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, that was I would say the
Mhm.
biggest one.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing all that. Firstly, I'm incredibly happy that you made it through.
Yeah.
You made it through all
You.
that. Um, and yeah, just like what an amazing story, really. Of just like growth, and I mean, I can feel the wisdom coming from you just by you being
Thank
being
you.
yourself. So I know it's ingrained and you've integrated it. I can tell that. So that's a great thing to see. Um,
Thank you.
do you think everything happens for a reason?
Yes.
Mm.
Yes and no, because I will not say that to um I don't know, sometimes I want to say yes, but I would say yes to me because I can handle it, I would say, but I would not say that to anyone. Um I'm gonna take a really, really sad example. Okay. I lost a sister when I was a kid. And for me, as I look back, I think it happened for a reason. But I will not go up to my mother and
Mm.
say you lost your child for a reason, because that would be insensitive, but as for me, with my perspective and the fact that I can look back and see all the things that developed after that loss, I can see, oh, I'm not sure that if it didn't happen, I would be the person that I am today, or be the anywhere where I am today, because it triggers a lot of different kind of things afterwards. And so yeah, I would say that to me, but I will not say that to everyone, if that makes sense.
It does, yeah. No, I understand that. Yeah. Yeah, I think I share a similar vision of the philosophy. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
really difficult because
Hmm.
when you work on yourself and you are actually, be holding yourself accountable for the shit that you did, it's easier to have that kind of language with yourself. Oh, it happened for a reason, and the reason was like I did that.
Mm.
But when it's someone else, you don't know if they are at that place yet. So it could trigger a really angry reactive reaction, or something that, oh, you just like don't get it, this is insensitive, you can't. And then you look at the world, like if everything happened for a reason, there's a lot of misery, there's a lot of,
Yeah.
it's, I don't know if I can say that in a huge scale,
Hmm.
because I don't have all the 360 perspective from the situation. I have from my situation, but I can say that for anything else.
Yeah. I feel like there's like this, because like there's like the spiritual world, or the world just where everything just is. And then
Yeah,
there's the human world, where we have values and expectations and just feelings and emotions and all sorts of stuff. And I feel like in in the wider world, in the spiritual world where everything just is, I feel like in that state, it's easier to see that everything happens for a reason.
yeah.
Once you break it down to the human interpersonal relationships world where there's
Oh
pain
yeah,
and
when you get the
suffering,
emotion, and
yeah,
yeah,
then it's harder sometimes to say it, or to um well, yeah, just even look at that fact. Um, but yeah, that's sort of how I see it as well.
yes,
Mm.
I agree.
What would you say is your definition or vision for success now?
Hmm. I think it evolves, but now um, I'm successful when I'm at ease
Mm.
on a daily. Uh, that's It doesn't mean that I avoid conflict or things that triggers me, or anything related to self growth and relationship and everything that is actually human, but I know that for me, success, for example, for me, success is me in a farm with baby goats, me painting with the sunrise at 4 a.m., with my tea, my daughter is sleeping, and then she can go play with the chicken, and I'm self-sufficient in terms of food and energy and water. That's for me, that's the kind of success that I envision for myself. And I think, yeah, um, for me, it's just being living a life that is making me proud, that is making me feel at ease, that is making me feel inspired on a daily, that is not taking from me, but adding into me.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, it's just I think inner peace is just the biggest success for me after everything that I've been through. I just want to be at peace within myself, and enjoy the people that I love, and spend quality time, create, or cooking, because I love cooking, or doing everything that I love with the people that I do love, I appreciate. So um That's my definition of success.
That's a beautiful definition. Yeah. Baby goats in the farm.
Oh yeah,
That's
I'm obsessed with baby goats. Like in Albania, like since I've moved to Albania, there are tons of baby goats everywhere, and I'm just like, I want baby goats. I want them.
you should get one or two.
Oh, I'm just waiting to have enough money to buy the land, and then I will have my baby goats and my chicken and the donkeys and everything.
Amazing. And what sort of what have you got planned for the future with let's say your creative work? Um, what's coming? Is it more on the art side? Is it more on the astrology or tarot side? What are you planning to explore more in the future?
Mm, I think everything combined.
Hmm.
When it comes to astrology and tarot in the future, I really want to host retreats
Mm.
for artists or for people of all background and lifestyle to just actually share with them how I'm using astrology on a daily and
Hmm.
how it's a tool to really make lives easier when it comes to everything that we want to accomplish, whether it's relationship or work or um, just self-worth, everything that we human have to work on. Uh, that's one thing that I want to do. When it comes to art, I want to continue to implement photography into it, which is
Mm.
something that I've started.
Yes.
I'm doing it with my phone now. Like I don't have because since the move I left everything in behind me. We sold everything to actually start over. So I just have my phone and a 15 years old laptop with missing keys and everything. Like it's you if you see like if you could saw the tools I'm working with,
Mm.
like sometimes I'm just amazed by the result that I have because I have to go through so many challenges to actually achieve that it's just a like it's insane. But yeah, I would like to add more photography and more tools and things from Morocco into my art. That is the goal. I really want to have more visual, like we can that people can actually see. Oh, that's that's from Morocco. That's from or from North Africa. That's something that people can really like directly see.
Hmm.
And the ultimate goal would be to actually, I love to do photography, so I would love to have actually a good, really good camera, and maybe do video or uh, yeah, video or doing some kind of. I love the I love being an artistic director.
Hmm.
Like even for myself, I love choosing the clothes that I'm gonna wear for the shoot. I love choosing the background. I would love to do that with photography, actually creating kind of uh little scene for people to get into, but always to just put my heritage on a pedestal and just like trying myself to create beauty from everything that I'm coming from.
Hmm.
So yeah, that would be the two main goals. And if I can achieve that, I'm like, I did it.
Amazing. Yeah, I'm really enjoying your the photography work you've been doing, like the photography collages. They just have a different feeling to them, of
Yeah,
like a new feeling of authenticity, I feel,
yeah,
coming from
yeah.
you. So
Thank you.
yeah, no, they're really, really cool. I'm excited to see more. Yeah. I feel like you should I feel like you should meet my art collective here. I feel like you would get along with everyone here. We share a lot of the same visions, even with the whole farm thing and retreats and
Let's just buy a land together. I mean,
like
why do people want to do it alone? Let's just
yeah,
regroup and buy a land.
we've been
and
talking
just
about
live
this as well.
together.
We've been talking about for a while, just like that we need to do that, get a big farm, host art retreats and workshops, and live off the land. And yeah, I feel like you'd fit in.
Oh yeah, that's why honestly that's why I moved.
Mm,
Because when you are too much when you are too comfortable, you don't really grow anymore.
yeah.
And I think that in Belgium, I was getting too comfortable because uh I was living in a big city. I had access to everything. Everything was handled to me like on a platter.
Mm,
And here, sometimes I have to fill the bathtub with water because I know the water is going to run out at the end of the day. And I just have to plan to. And it's not chaotic, but a little bit. And I just wanted to go back into nature. And I think if I want to live off grid, at what point I need to actually make the move to approach that
yeah.
goal. And so
Hmm.
that's why we moved here to be more close to nature. I mean, I have the mountain, I have the sea. Um,
Amazing.
so yeah, I'm getting closer to the land.
Yeah.
I see the land. I don't own it yet, but I
Yeah.
see it at least.
One step closer. One step closer. That's really awesome. No, it's been really fun and enlightening to speak with you. I really enjoyed this conversation. Do you have any sort of conclusive remarks or anything you want to say before we wrap things up?
um, I think that for artists, um, don't be afraid to look at every part of yourself because that is going to make your art more deep and more authentic. And I think that's, yeah.
Amazing. Look at yourself.
Look at
Yeah.
yourself.
Face yourself. I like it. Dia, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for inviting me. It's
This has
been
been
an
great.
honor to be there.
Uh, for me too. For me too. And yeah, and where can people find you if anyone wants to look up your things? I will put all the links, but
Uh, I have my website, which it's stevendia.com. I have Twitter and Instagram, and it's Steven Flash under Dihya.
okay, amazing.
I have TikTok, but I'm not there that much
Cool.
yet. I'm trying, but not much there. So yeah, Instagram, Twitter, and my website.
Website. Okay, cool. I'll put all the links in the description. Well, thank you for joining me again,
Okay.
and thanks for everyone that tuned in. Yeah, till next time.